Let's see how we can amend an earlier commit. So look at this commit over here. Add a reference to Google Map SDK. Before going further, let's look at the content of this commit. So I'm going to copy the commit ID. Now let's run git show. So in this commit, we're adding this line to package.txt. Now let's say we forgot to include the license for Google Map. So we want to go back in history and amend this commit. Now let's pull up the history one more time. So to edit this commit, we're going to use interactive rebasing. As you learned earlier in the course, with rebasing, we can replay a bunch of commits on top of another commit. So here we're going to replay this commit and all the future commits on top of the parent of this commit, which is this commit over here. So I'm going to copy this commit ID. Now let's run git rebase -i for interactive. This basically means that we're going to interact with the rebase operation. So we're going to stop it, make changes, and continue. Now we paste the commit ID. All right, take a look. What we have here is a script. It contains a series of instructions about the rebase operation. So here we have instructions or commands like pick. Down here, you can see a legend of all the supported commands. So we have pick, reward, edit, and so on. As we go through this section, you're going to learn more about these commands. So in this script, we have all the commits that we're going to replay listed from the oldest to the newest. So up here is the commit that we want to edit, and down here is the latest commit. Now, I'm going to change this instruction from pick to edit. We can also edit multiple commits if we want to. In this demo, I'm going to edit only a single commit. So revert, save the changes. Now, at this point, you know that when we edit a commit, Git actually creates a new commit. Now, here's the interesting part. In this demo, even though we're editing only a single commit, all the commits that come after this commit will also be edited, or more accurately, recreated. Let me explain why. Imagine we have 4 commits in our history and we want to amend B. Git creates a new commit, let's call that B star. Now, C should point to B star, right? But this is not possible because commits are immutable, so the parent of C cannot be changed. In this situation, Git creates another commit that looks exactly like C, but it points to B star. By the same token, Git will create another commit that looks like D, but points to C star. So even though we only modified B, all the subsequent commits had to be modified or more accurately recreated. So remember, rebasing is a destructive operation because it rewrites history. So you should use it only for the commits that you haven't shared with others, okay? All right, back to our script. We're going to edit the first commit in this list. Now, when I close this window, the rebase operation will start. Back in the terminal, take a look. You've stopped at this commit. Add a reference to Google Map SDK. So because we told Git that we want to edit this commit, Git stopped here. Now we have a chance to amend this commit. So we're going to make the necessary changes. Then we're going to amend this commit and then continue with the rebase operation. So I'm going to echo license to license.txt, then add this change and amend the current commit. We're going to accept the previous message. That's good. Now, back in the terminal, we made a new commit. Now let's run git log, one line, all graph. Let's see what's going on here. We have 2 branches. In this branch, we have all the commits that we wanted to replay. Down here is the first commit. That is the commit that we wanted to edit. We modified this commit and Git created another commit with the same message up here. The rebasing operation stopped. So once we continue rebasing, all the subsequent commits will be replayed on top of this new commit, and then this branch will be discarded. Take a look. So we type git rebase -- continue, or if we screw up, we can always abort the rebase operation and go back to the previous state before we started the rebase. So let's continue rebasing. Good. Now let's look at the log one more time. We have a simple clean history. Now, if you paid close attention, you probably noticed that the commit IDs are different. So here's the new ID of the commit that we changed. Let's copy this and run git show. So now in this commit, we have 2 changes. We introduced a new file, license.txt, and we added this line to package.txt. Perfect. Now let me show you something interesting. I'm going to pull up the history one more time. So we added license.txt in this commit. Now, what if we check out the commit that was introduced later? Let's say this commit. If we check this out, you will see that our license file is still there, even though it was not in the original work in progress commit. So let's check out this commit. The head pointer is detached. Now, let's look at the files in our project. Here's the license file that we just added. So here's what you need to take away. The change that we introduced in one of the earlier commits carried on throughout the rest of the history. All right, we're done here. So let's check out master.